Hey, none of that. Stop it. No whining. Both of you. Behave, okay? Hi, so I'm Yasmin Ajuz, and this is my mastery vlog about everything I learned about in script production and analysis so far. So, the first course I took at Full Sail was Mastery, and we had to write down 3 goals we had for each course. And my goals for this course were to strengthen my writing skills, be a more confident presenter, and learn the correct format of scripts on Final Draft. So, did I meet these goals? Why or why not? I do believe I met them. I haven't perfected them, but I'm definitely learning and getting better. So, my first goal to strengthen my writing skills, I do believe I did that. I see that my writing is way more concise and grammatically correct, and that I learned all those techniques by having my scripts read in class aloud. My second goal was to be more comfortable with presenting and more confident with my work. I do think I became a lot more comfortable with presenting. That was always a huge fear of mine. And I learned a lot about being confident and comfortable with presenting. And it was always the most simplest things. I was always overthinking it and would memorize and then over memorize or over rehearse. And it's really like as long as you're just confident with your story and you tell it like you're telling a story and you know people will love it and you don't have caffeine. That was the big thing. I didn't have caffeine. The one presentation I didn't have coffee and I felt like I presented the best, even though I was still pretty nervous. But that was like my non-caffeinated version. So I think I did pretty good. And then lastly was to become more familiar with Final Draft and the correct formatting of scripts. And I do believe I have gotten a lot better at that. I still miss a couple of things like my slug lines and I always have like sometimes orphans left over, but I'm trying really hard on preventing that. But I remember in my last class, film concepts and practices, the first script I wrote on Final Draft, I was incredibly intimidated and uncomfortable with it. But then the more I used it, the more confident I got with it. So the next question is, what did you learn about yourself as a writer this month? And what did you learn about yourself as an artist and storyteller? So I learned that I'm a pretty confident writer as long as I keep myself inspired. And by doing that, it's constantly like going out, trying new things, sometimes meeting new people. I'm an introvert, so sometimes it's a bit difficult for me. But meeting new people, watching movies, like any movies. I used to be so picky about the type of movies I would watch. Just kind of opening up to like more genres and just watching anything, hearing different plot lines in movies that always made me inspired and gave me ideas for other scripts to write. And as a storyteller, I realized I have to be passionate about my story if I want to write it. There has been every single script writing project we had in this class, I had a story in mind and I would start writing it and I would be like a quarter of the way through or even like almost halfway through and I'd realize I don't even like this and I would just delete it all and have to think and start over, and sometimes it would take me hours. And I also kind of had to realize that you can't rush it because sometimes ideas just form over time and you can't form a good idea if you're frantic. That's what I learned. What do I need to continue my work on? Absolutely a lot of things. I'm nowhere close to a perfect public speaker. I still talk really fast. I still need to master the art of, communicating with the audience while presenting. I still am a bit stiff when I present and I could feel that. So I think it'll just take practice. Like I just have to keep presenting and hopefully by the end of this by the end of the school term, I will at least have improved a little bit. Also, script format, I find myself making a lot of little errors. Like I said previously, the thing I forget the most is a new headline every time scenes change. I just get so caught up in writing dialogue and actions, I completely forget about headers. And I also need to learn how to write without directing. I think I've gotten pretty good, but it's still hard for me sometimes to write directions without adding a little emphasis to it, even though it's not my job because I'm not the director, I'm the writer. Whether you want to be a writer or not, how might you apply the class the class content to your life, either professionally or personally? I definitely feel a lot more confident in taking criticism and giving it. Um, I honestly always had a hard time with not taking criticism, but giving it and knowing how to give it constructively rather than just being like, oh, I like this or oh, I don't like this. And having my scripts read aloud in class was very intimidating at first, but I had no idea how beneficial it was going to be. Every single table read we had and the critiques I got, whether it's from the teacher or the students, I think I used almost all the advice I got, and I think that made my stories come out really well. You know, it's always good to like run ideas through other fresh minds, because sometimes when I'm thinking about my own story, I'm thinking about it like constantly. I kind of get not bored with it, but I just get kind of brain dead, and having a new brain give you ideas is always positive. If I can go back to the beginning of the month and give myself one piece of advice, it would definitely be absolutely 100% to, hang on, this dog looks so cute. I can't, no, come back. It would definitely be absolutely, if I could tell myself one thing, to take my time with things and don't get flustered so easily if things don't work out. I don't think, I mean, as far as I know, I don't think any movie was made based off of just its first idea. It went through tons of people and tons of script, redos, and ideas take time. Rome wasn't built in a day. I'm sure a lot of other things weren't built in a day, but I definitely need to be easier on myself too, because if I can't think of a new movie idea in like less than a few hours, I just get so angry at myself and I think, like I'm gonna suck at this, rather than realizing like it's really hard to come up with a whole movie concept, even if it's a short film, and it takes time and planning. So definitely to be easier on myself and give myself the time when I need like more mental space, and if I need to take a break, I need to give myself that rather than just try to cram everything in a short amount of time so I can get it over with. And yeah, that's about it. I learned a lot in this course. I definitely impressed myself with how I planned my time, because usually with schoolwork, it's very easy for me to just be like scatterbrained and be up until 3 a.m. But the amount of workload we had in this class forced me to kind of schedule my time, and I was actually using a planner, which was weird. Yeah, this class was all the work we had, all after I finished each project or each script, I felt very rewarded, because I felt like each script we did, mine was better than the next. Not even in just terms of like plot lines, but I just feel like every new script project we had, I was more confident with my writing, and I was more confident with sharing it with people. So yeah, I really love this class, and I feel a lot more excited to go to my next class, and I'm definitely going to continue writing scripts. This is a new hobby I found out that I really liked. I didn't think I would enjoy it this much, to be honest, but I ended up really liking it, and I am constantly now jotting down every new script idea I have and keeping it in a folder. So thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.